back to the channel. If you're new to our channel, or if you just click to check us out, we appreciate that. Do us a big favor and hit that subscribe button, and that hit the notifications on and all that good stuff so that you don't miss any of our upcoming content. If you're a subscriber, we appreciate you watching our video and checking in with us. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about pre-spawn fishing, which is what we're dealing with here in Indiana right now. The fish are right there on the verge of going on bed, and this is one of the most productive times, but yet one of the most aggravating times to fish. It's a time where you can see a lot of fish up on the bank that you cannot catch, and there's two approaches to that. One, you can take more of a finesse approach where you can downsize baits, downsize line, keep more distance between you and the fish, and make long casts to keep from spooking those fish. And that's a very productive way. For me, it doesn't work out as good. As you well know if you watch the channel, I'm a power fisherman. I love to fish big line, big baits, spinner baits, chatter baits. I like to move. So one thing that I have found that works best for me is to fish for those fish that you can't see. They're still out off the bank a little bit. So this past weekend, I was at a lake in north central Kentucky, and was down there fishing, practicing for a tournament, and didn't catch any big fish. I did have several nice fish roll on a spinnerbait, and seen some fish trying to spawn or right there getting ready to spawn, and those fish were extremely spooky. Very difficult to get anywhere near them without them kind of spooking off the bed. So as you watch the video, you'll see I start up on the bank, parallel on the bank, making tight casts to the bank, and I had a lot of fish roll on a bait. Water clarity was a little bit cleaner than what I would prefer, but as the day progresses, I start to kind of put it together that I need to move out. I've got to find a way to fish for those fish that are still in that 3, 4, 5, and even 6 foot range that have not pushed up on the bank yet. Right before the spawn, typically your bigger females are going to do that. They're going to hold out there in that 4 to 6 foot. The males will move up on the bank. So whenever you're fishing this time of year, and you see a lot of smaller fish up on the bank, typically those are males, and they've made that push up there. They're preparing to spawn. You see a lot of fish kind of cruising. The females have not pushed up there. And some of those females will still spawn out there in that 4, 5, 6 foot of water where you can't see them. So you're fishing for spawning fish sometimes that you can't actually see their bed. So you're blind fishing spawning fish. And it's a very productive way to catch some big fish this time of year. So what I like to do is I will parallel cast the bank first, especially if I haven't been there in a while and I'm not sure what stage those fish are in. And I'll kind of let the fish tell me, if I'm getting a lot of bites or they're rolling on my bait a lot, then I will elect to move out. So as you watch the video, you'll notice in the beginning I'm, fishing pretty tight, and then I move out a little bit, make an adjustment, and start catching more fish. And I just really slow down with some plastics, and I'm catching catching fish more frequently. Even though I wasn't catching the quality, the bigger group of fish was still out off the bank a little bit. So take those tips, guys, and try it. Check out the video here, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. Because, I mean, that was the first flip. I might not on it. First freaking flip with that thing. Oh. 10 foot of water down here. It's about a mess. There. One of my favorite ways to approach this particular pre-spawn situation is with a spinnerbait or a swim jig, just kind of depending upon what the lake conditions are, water clarity, time of year, of course, what stage those fish are into the pre-spawn / spawn will really dictate a lot what my presentation will be. If those fish are really starting to lock onto the beds, you're going to see me really slow down and fish baits that are more related to the bottom. If those fish haven't really made that move yet and they're not quite spawning yet, you might have a few but not many, I'm still going to fish a reaction bait. I'm going to fish a spinnerbait, a chatterbait, a swim jig, a square bill, and cover a lot of water. And whenever you do get bit, kind of pay attention to your quality, the water depth, and then you can start to kind of establish a pattern or a location of which those fish are setting up. So the first thing I'll look for is steeper banks that lead into a flatter bank that kind of lead into a spawning flat or a spawning pocket. This particular lake is pretty steep that I'm fishing, so there's not a lot of real flat stuff. So the key there is to find that steeper bank that leads to just a slightly flatter bank, and that's where those fish will spawn. The other key is, if you look at the bank composition, if there is a lot of rock on the lake that is the same, then maybe find an area with some rock that's a little different. And a lot of times that's where you'll find a bank that has more gravel or more clay, and that's where the bigger concentration of fish will actually set up to spawn. So, guys, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. As always, support our sponsors. We really appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one.